Hey everybody, Travis Clater back with another strategic thought for the day. And this time we are talking about metrics in the world of communications. Now, I was recently having a discussion with some colleagues about metrics as it relates to public relations efforts and how practitioners have used those metrics over the course of the last couple of decades. And in short, it boils down to just a couple of things. First, public relations can and should bring real and tangible value to an organization. I used to have a client who would always say, you can't spell profit without PR. And I firmly believe that communications campaigns have an important role in that process. The second thing is that as communicators, we have done a terrible job at conveying the value of the work that we do for the companies that we represent. Now, as communications, especially digital communications, becomes more sophisticated, so too must the way that public relations pros execute and evaluate our campaigns. This has been an issue that the public relations industry has faced for a long, long time. In fact, I wrote a blog about this in November of 2019, which I'll put a link to in this blog, where we talked about the types of metrics that we are using and the types of metrics that we should be using in our campaigns. To revisit that for just a moment, there are vanity metrics and then there are action metrics. Vanity metrics have become the standard in many public relations campaigns. These are the superficial key performance indicators, or KPIs, that at best give a glimpse into how your content is performing. We all know and love these metrics. They include things like reach and audience and followers and likes. And let's not forget the ambiguous yet often relied on advertising value equivalency, or AVE. There's not a professional out there, or executive for that matter, who doesn't love seeing big numbers on a positive report. And that's exactly what these numbers can show. But while they oftentimes produce big numbers, these numbers don't necessarily show the real value or the effect that your work is having on the business or your organization. I'm not saying to toss these out. Let's definitely not do that, as they can still be useful. I'm just saying don't be fooled into thinking that they show the real value of your campaign. Action metrics, on the other hand, focus on your key audiences, their behaviors, and driving real business results. These KPIs are tied directly to your campaign results and include things like social engagement, messaging resonance, audience sentiment, awareness, conversion, and even website engagement, just to name a few. It's hard to tell you which ones you should use for your campaign or your business, as every situation or campaign or business is going to be different. Plus, you may have very specific objectives for your business and campaign. In fact, you should have very specific objectives, and your metrics should be tied to those. What we do know is just about every department in corporate America is expected to show metrics and value, and communications isn't any different. We all have metrics that we have to meet, and it's up to us to choose the metrics that show the real value of the work being done. They should be metrics that push the bottom line of the company or have some meaningful effect on the business itself. Well, we would love to see that our content reach hundreds of millions of people, or potentially reach hundreds of millions of people. What happened then? Did we acquire new customers? Did it increase company or product revenue? Did it add value to the business? Likes and potential reach don't necessarily show value. So if we don't use the right metrics, we'll never know the answer to those questions, which means we'll never be able to show the real value of the work we're doing. I'll be the first to jump in and talk about the value of public relations, but until all stakeholders buy into using the right metrics for the right campaign, it's our job to bring that value forward, which means we need to know what to measure. In the same blog, I reviewed 7 tips for finding the appropriate campaign KPIs, including one, focusing on business goals and metrics that show movement in driving sales, awareness, or reputation, so tied directly to your company. Setting KPIs early and keeping your North Star during the campaign. Having primary and secondary KPIs, finding the right mix of action metrics and vanity metrics, focusing on what really matters so you're not flooding the space with needless information, being ready to adjust as needed and allowing for contingencies, and finally, keeping your stakeholders informed. Communication is always the most important thing. Now, I could go on and on about how other industries are doing this more effectively, and as a result, they're getting seats at the table that belong to communicators. But I'm going to save that for another blog and another day. For now, regardless of what industry you're in, whether you're in-house counsel or at an outside agency, working on an event or a multinational campaign, we have to start choosing the metrics that not only showcase the value we bring to our companies, but elevate the public relations industry as a whole. Yes, it's going to be more work, but find the right metrics and make the case for ensuring you have the right resources to track those metrics, and you'll see the value of those efforts increase along with the results of your campaign. And there's your strategic thought for the day. Be sure to check out tcstrategic.com for more posts. And if you haven't done so, sign up for our Strategic Thoughts newsletter. It's only twice a month, plus it's some awesome content. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.